like a bomb went off, just explode. I guess the best way to characterize it is stuff exploded off my walls.
Right now, a condominium in a Madison neighborhood collapses, sending multiple people to the hospital. What we know at this hour, as officials believe an explosion is to blame. That's all coming up right now at 10. What started as just a regular Tuesday for those living at the Windsor condominiums turned into chaos after one of the buildings exploded, causing it to collapse.
It happened just before 6 near South Gammon Road at Park Ridge Drive. We have team coverage tonight live at the scene, where we start with Tahlil Mohadeen. Tahlil?
Eric and Charlotte, we are able to confirm at least 4 people have suffered injuries as a result of this incident. 1 rushed to the hospital and 3 others self-reporting minor injuries. You'll see that the response to this explosion is still ongoing. Crews are on scene working to shore the collapsed condo that is building frames and support structures, a process they expect will be slow and methodical for safer injuries. Now, earlier tonight, 12 Madison fire crews responded within 4 minutes of a call reporting the explosion. So far, crews have been able to do at least 1 walkthrough of the building as access would allow. Madison Fire Chief Chris Carbon says all evening his crews have been doing a phenomenal job, putting their own safety at risk.
With any structural scenario such as this, the integrity of the building's at risk. And until we're able to do a thorough assessment, it's an incredibly risky situation to be inside. Our folks assume that risk, but we do it in an educated manner. We do it methodically.
Through that initial search and rescue, officials do not have reason to believe there are any additional victims of the incident, but Chief Carbon says they will be here until they can definitively verify that. At least 6 units were impacted by the explosion, but the entire condo is not habitable. MFD is working with the Red Cross to make sure those who were displaced will have their immediate needs taken care of. Now, we don't yet know the cause of the explosion, and officials reported there was no fire associated, but Madison police will be doing an investigation. Now, this street is expected to be closed for at least another half hour, possibly more. News 3 Now was the first crew to arrive on scene. Our Naomi Coles has been here since about 6 o'clock. Naomi, what have you been seeing?
Yeah, I actually got here so fast because I had just driven by leaving work for the day when I got the call from the newsroom with reports that there was this explosion. I got on scene probably about 10 minutes. I checked after the explosion happened, and when I got there, there were dozens of people just watching who had seen or heard or felt the explosion, all of them telling me it just felt like a bomb. I talked to one witness who said that she actually saw one mom who was out on a walk with 3 of her children. The children were actually hit by the debris.
3 babies was injured walking with their mom in a wagon, and the house blew up. I was turning right here. I was getting ready to keep straight, and then I actually had to turn because that's how hard the explosion was.
My front window blew in, and I was like, oh my gosh, there might have been gunfire or something. So I was going to look out my window, and there was a rumbling, and stuff just exploded off of all my walls. My shelves, my knickknacks, everything.
Here, give me a cue. The lady in the home said it smelled really strongly of gas, and she saw the person hurt who was hospitalized. She said she was covered in blood, or that he was covered in blood and glass shards. Now, people here they're clearly very shaken up. This is a very residential neighborhood. A lot of people live nearby and felt it. A lot of them, again, describing it like a bomb feeling. We'll be tracking this all night and into the morning. For now, live in Madison for News 3 Now, I'm Naomi Coles.
Naomi, Tahlil, thank you. And for the latest updates on this story and other news, don't forget to download the News 3 Now Channel 3000 News app. With it, you'll get news alerts as they come in. You can find it in your app store. Just search Channel 3000. Let's now check your first warn forecast. Here's Julian Seawright. Julian?
Another comfortable night on tap, and it's just going to continue to get better throughout the next couple of days here in southern Wisconsin. So let's get right into it. What we're expecting for the rest of tonight, temperatures to continue to slide into those 50s as we get closer towards the morning hours. Sky cover is going to clear up for us, making for that radial cooling. But it's going to be a comfortable night on tap. So if you're one of those people who sleeps with the windows open, this is the night for you. We're looking at 50s throughout much of southern Wisconsin, upper 40s for Janesville with 52 degrees for Platteville. And as we get into the rest of this week, temperatures are going to stay within the 70s, even 80 degrees as we get into Thursday. Normally around this time of year, we're between the middle to upper 60s, but we're going to start to cool down just a bit for Sunday of this week. But next week, still holding on to some more comfortable weather. Now, talking about this weekend, after all the beauty we're going to see a bit of some rain and some thunderstorms heading into our Friday, Saturday, and yes, even for Mother's Day. And we're tracking a system that's looking to bring quite a bit of rainfall throughout much of southern Wisconsin for our Mother's Day weekend. So you may want to plan ahead of having some of those festivities indoors for the weekend. We'll be timing out just how much rain and when we can really expect this in just a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Julian, thank you. The Greene County Board of Supervisors voted 17-14 in approval, designating June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month, starting next month and moving forward annually. The meeting room was already filling up an hour before it was supposed to start, with community members sharing why they were for or against the resolution. That resolution encourages residents to learn about the contributions of LGBTQ+ people in Greene County and reflect on ways that community members can live and work together with a commitment of mutual respect and understanding.
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi is appointing Gloria Reyes as co-deputy director of the Department of Human Services. This after the county board rejected Representative Sheila Stubbs' nomination. Reyes, a former Madison police officer and deputy mayor, will serve alongside the interim director. She will help develop the department's budget for next year and coordinate upcoming projects. Parisi says recruitment for the director position will resume in the coming weeks.
To an update now on that stolen vehicle that crashed into a bus in Milwaukee. A 14-year-old boy has been criminally charged now. The teen faces multiple charges, including first-degree reckless injury and hit and run. You may remember this video from last week. He's being tried in juvenile court. Happened a week ago yesterday. A 15-year-old who was in the vehicle that struck the bus was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. That boy remains in a medically induced coma and is on a breathing tube, according to his mother. The man killed in a shooting last week outside the Badger Tavern has now been identified. 44-year-old Jason Pritchard of Madison died at the scene of the shooting early Friday morning. A 23-year-old man was arrested at the scene in connection with the shooting. A gun also recovered. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to this incident. Officials say the suspect and victim did not know each other, nor was there any kind of altercation leading up to that shooting.
The parents of a 9-month-old girl who was found unresponsive at a West Madison home earlier this year before dying have been charged in her death. Daniel Mallett and Samantha Trum are each charged with a felony count of neglecting a child where the consequence is death as a party to a crime. According to the complaint, toxicology testing found multiple drugs, including fentanyl, in the child's system. Officers also found numerous pieces of drug paraphernalia inside the home where the three were living. Trum has a status conference scheduled for later this month, while Mallett is scheduled to appear in court on June 13th. Governor Evers is ordering flags to fly at half-staff on Friday in honor of St. Croix County Sheriff's Deputy Katie Lacing. Lacing was killed in the line of duty Saturday when she was shot while responding to a report of a drunk driver in a ditch. The suspect in the shooting was later found dead. Services for Lacing are scheduled for Friday in Hudson.
To some national news now, where a New York jury has found former President Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation in a civil trial brought by magazine writer E. Jean Carroll. Now, the panel did reject the accusation that Carroll was raped. The panel awarded Carroll $5 million in damages after about 3 hours of deliberations. Carroll testified that Trump sexually assaulted her in a dressing room at a New York City department store back in 1996. Trump waived his right to testify, and his attorney said Trump would appeal the verdict.
This was a rape claim. It was a rape case all along, and the jury rejected that, but made other findings. So we'll obviously be appealing those other findings.
On his social media blog, Trump called the verdict a disgrace, saying he has, quote, absolutely no idea who Carroll is. Federal prosecutors have filed criminal charges against New York Representative George Santos. The freshman congressman, of course, made headlines last year when it came to light he lied about his education and work history. Then new allegations surfaced about him breaking campaign finance laws, masterminding a credit card scheme. The charges against him are still sealed. It's unclear exactly what they're related to. Santos could appear in court as early as tomorrow to answer to those charges.
At the White House today, a face-to-face meeting of President Biden and top congressional Democrats and Republicans. The topic, avoiding the first-ever U.S. debt default. The challenge, as Emily Schmidt reports, is reaching a deal before the government runs out of money.
President Biden at the White House Tuesday joked with reporters.
We're not going to take any questions now. We're going to get started. We're going to solve all the world's problems.
But the problem, U.S. debt, is serious enough to get the president, House Speaker, House Minority Leader, and Senate Majority and Minority Leaders in the same room after trading blame from afar.
What's really troubling about the Speaker's position is It's a partisan bill, and he says take it or leave it, or we could default.
Only one of us took action so default wouldn't take place, the House Republicans.
House Republicans passed a bill increasing the debt limit by $1.5 trillion while cutting domestic programs to trim the deficit. The White House and congressional Democrats also want to increase the debt limit, but before addressing a framework for spending. The White House insists no cuts.
Default threatens 8 million jobs, a recession, retirement accounts, and Social Security and Medicare payments.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said the U.S. could run out of money and won't be able to pay its bills as soon as early June if the debt ceiling isn't lifted. The White House meeting wrapped up with no deal announced. One more day of disagreement, one day closer to potential default.
I didn't see any new movement. The president said the staff should get back together, but I was very clear with the president. We have now just 2 weeks to go.
In Washington, Emily Schmidt, News 3 Now.
President Biden plans to visit upstate New York tomorrow. The White House says he will work to drive home the potential impact of a debt default. Senator Dianne Feinstein is returning to Washington. She's been out since February with the shingles and subsequent complications. The 89-year-old lawmaker is under pressure to return to the Senate, and some of her fellow Democrats have suggested she resign. Feinstein already has announced she won't run for re-election next year. Coming up, Julian returns with a complete look at the forecast.
But first, border officials apprehend more than 26,000 migrants in just the last 3 days as the pandemic-era immigration policy Title 42 is set to end. How the Biden administration is preparing. That's next.
With my low E, my game is in the gutter.
Low E, also known as low energy, is wreaking havoc on millions.
With my low E, I can no longer express myself through dance.
I can't even pull out the hose.
Thankfully, there's Planet Fitness, a judgment-free zone for that big fitness energy, giving you a post-workout glow all day.
Now everyone wants a taste of my salsa.
Thanks, Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends May 10th.
Now I can untangle anyone's hose.
George uses AT&T for his internet and mobile service. Anthony has Spectrum One. What's the difference? With AT&T, George pays a lot more.
I'm sorry, I do?
AT&T Internet costs $55, and AT&T Unlimited Extra Line costs $75.
Plus monthly fees. Ouch.
With Spectrum One, Anthony gets internet with fast and reliable speeds.
Super fast.
Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security.
With Spectrum, I get Security Shield, blocking threats.
And an unlimited mobile line with nationwide 5G.
Service, so reliable.
All for $49.99 a month. Go to spectrum.com/save more to see how much you can save. Or call us and we'll do it for you. With Spectrum One, Anthony is saving almost $100 a month.
That's almost $1,200 in savings. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and a free unlimited mobile line. Visit spectrum.com/save more or call 833-754-4999 today.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-501-5956 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
Get 11% off your outdoor projects at Menards. We have the best quality and largest selection of pressure-treated lumber and decking in the Midwest. An 8-foot pressure-treated 1x4 is only $398 after rebate. Add a beautiful accent to your outdoor project with flowers from our garden center. Mother's Day is May 14th, and Menards has great gifts. Brighten Mom's Day and summer with 10-inch hanging flower baskets. Just $9.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Tomorrow, we get a live look inside Madison College's new state-of-the-art extended reality center.
Plus, send us your weather photo and you could win a First Warn weather umbrella.
And warmer weather is on the way. We'll take a look at the rain chances over the weekend tomorrow between 4:30 and 7.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
The White House says President Biden wrapped up a call with his Mexican counterpart as the two sides discuss how to move forward with Title 42 coming to an end. CBS News has learned the Biden administration is working to finalize a new regulation which would replace Title 42 and allow for the quick expulsion of migrants apprehended at the border. The regulation would also disqualify migrants from asylum if they fail to request it in another country on their way to the U.S. It would bar most non-Mexican migrants from asylum if they enter the U.S. without permission, and violating the rules would result in swift deportation, a 5-year ban on entering the U.S., and potential criminal prosecution if they do so.
Our focus, as it relates to managing the border, is we're going to do this through enforcement, deterrence, and diplomacy, and that's what you have seen.
Border officials say they apprehended more than 26,000 migrants over just a 72-hour period this past weekend.
A 25-year-old man is facing 3 charges after crashing his car into the outdoor patio of an Ohio restaurant. Surveillance video shows the terrifying scene. Amazingly, no one was seriously hurt when the vehicle veered off the road and smashed through the seating area, taking out tables, chairs, and more. The suspect, Toby Ramsey, turned himself in over the weekend. He was arraigned on charges of reckless driving, inducing panic, and leaving the scene. A cash bond was set at $250,000. A small float plane crashed next to a home in Lakewood, Washington. This happened just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A news station out there reports 2 people were in critical condition and taken to a hospital. Well, today, healthcare workers are recognizing nurses' work and dedication through the pandemic at the Capitol today. They discussed some of the trauma that nurses faced during that time and pushed for more funding to support those workers and keep them in Wisconsin. They added that now is a critical time as healthcare in Wisconsin is facing a critical staffing shortage as the state's population continues to age.
More resources are urgently needed to address the spiraling crisis of understaffing, trauma, turnover, burnout, and moral injury, all systemic problems which have all been aggravated by the pandemic.
The group is asking Republicans to increase funding to address those issues as legislators are currently working to write the state's 2-year budget.
Warm and dry the next few days. Could be some rain watering mom's flowers by the weekend. Here's Julian with a complete forecast.
And the good news is we have plenty of good days to be able to plant those flowers for us before we get the rain. So let's go ahead and talk about the weather headlines for us because, again, the next couple of days are going to be as gorgeous as it was for today. If not, a little bit better for those who love the summer-like weather. So heading into Thursday, the 80s will be here, but 70s for tomorrow and even for most of the weekend. We're going to be dry until we get into Friday, where we are going to be expecting to see some showers and thunderstorms that are going to be here for our Mother's Day weekend. So you might want to plan ahead to have your festivities indoors, but otherwise, enjoy the comfortable weather that we have. We're looking at temperatures to be in the 50s overnight. Not a lot of issues either. We're seeing clear skies for the most part. Heading into tomorrow, we're having a bit of some cloud cover build into our afternoon, but it's going to be comfortable to start the day and just feel great once we end it as well. Middle 70s is what we're seeing for our high tomorrow. Otherwise, not a whole lot of issues in this forecast. Taking a look at our future track. Tomorrow morning, lunchtime, 70s already. Light breezes coming in from the south, a little bit of some building of cloud cover, but overall, it's going to be a great start to our lunchtime hour and even getting into the rest of our afternoon and evening hours. So if you have any yard work that you need to do or planting those flowers, it's going to be a great day to do it. Nice long walk with the pup or even just enjoying any kind of outdoor activities. Getting into our Wednesday night, another comfortable one. We're looking at upper 50s around midnight, falling into the middle to lower 50s. And then as we get into the rest of the day, any rain that was going to start to build is mainly going to stay west and then get cut off by dry air. Getting into the rest of our Thursday, we're also going to stay warm, climbing near 80. And on top of it, we're going to see a bit more clouds building. But from Friday to Saturday to Sunday, that's when we're expecting rain throughout much of southern Wisconsin for us. And it's going to be on and off with some thunderstorms as well, especially once we get into our Sunday nights, transferring into our early Monday morning. But for the rest of the Monday, we're going to be seeing open skies, sunshine, and some warmer weather. Now, taking a look at what we're seeing in terms of rain or what we can expect, about 1/2 to 3 inches of rainfall is what we're expecting for Madison. But areas to the west and to the northwest could see significantly more. We're talking about 1 inch, 1.5 inches, or close to about 2 to 3 inches for La Crosse, depending on where those bands of rain really just settle down and take a while to move out of. Now, taking a look at our 10-day forecast, here's how things are going to be panning out over over the next several days. We're going to be seeing temperatures, once again, feeling rather comfortable for us. But then as we get into the weekend, we will still once again see a bit of those storms starting to really make an issue for us, especially once we get into Mother's Day. But the good news is temperatures themselves are going to stay rather stable into the lower 70s throughout much of the weekend and even heading into next week. So the best part about this entire forecast is that it's not only comfortable, but not a whole lot of issues outside of Mother's Day weekend, at least so far. Next week, again, folks, sunshine, some breeze, lower 70s. You can't really beat that forecast. You can't beat this forecast, especially since we've had such comfortable weather over the last couple of days.
And coming up in sports, Joe Thomas showing off his arm at AmFam Field. Why it might have been the best pitch of the night for the Brewers. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. We won't stop fighting for you and your family. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Habitat Restore is full of great finds at great prices for a great cause. With a unique inventory of high-quality, low-cost goods, you can save money and feel good about your purchase. Shop Restore Dane County today.
Are record high energy and water costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive. While you may not ask for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to be without heat, water, or power. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.heat.help.
At Foster Funeral and Cremation Services, we honor legacies. Let us take care of the arrangement so you can focus on saying goodbye. Veteran-owned and operated. Experience exceptional care and affordable service with Foster Funeral and Cremation Services.
Roast beef. 4 for $10. Yeah, you know. That classic Arby's. Roast beef. Roast beef. 4 for $10. Arby's. We have the meat.
Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
A truck crash can be life-changing. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. We have a powerful team with the knowledge, resources, and history of results you'll need. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When you think of the NBA's all-defensive first team, Giannis comes to mind. Each of the last 4 seasons, he'd made the list. Well, that streak ended today when the Bucks' big man was left off of it. Kind of confusing since he posted the best defensive rating in the league this season, right? Well, it appears the Greek Freak thought so too when he posted this message to Twitter: "I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm coming." Feels like a warning to the rest of the NBA. He did have a couple of teammates, though, make first-team All-Defense. Drew Holiday, who's no stranger to the honor. It's the 5th time in the last 6 years Holiday's been crowned one of the league's top defenders, while Brooke Lopez earned his first team honor. With their backs up against the wall heading into the final weekend of the regular season, Wisconsin softball responded with a sweep over Iowa that has the Badgers feeling pretty good entering the Big Ten tournament. Now, instead of playing tight, UW's heading to Illinois with momentum on their side and a whole lot of confidence. And that's just what Yvette Healy was hoping for as her team enters postseason play.
Team's prepared, and I think they feel that way, and they like to have fun. And so teams that enjoy each other and love each other and have worked really hard are just fun to watch in the postseason because they let it all hang out. And so that's what we're going to be looking for from them, and it's how they played this weekend. They were focused, but while they were relaxed and having fun, and you go into the postseason, that's what you want to see.
Joe Thomas throwing out the first pitch at the Brewers game, and the crew could have used the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee on the mound in this one. Second pitch of the game, Mookie Betts cashes in with a solo shot over the Wisconsin lottery sign. Brew Crew fall 6-2, the final. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for the new leader of the Madison Capitals, Andy Brandt. On May 1st, he was inducted in he was named the franchise's new head coach and general manager. Then the following day, it was time for the draft. And at the same time, he had to finalize his coaching staff. Now, with all that checked off his list, he's working on building up those relationships with his new players so that the Madcaps can get back to their winning ways.
It's important to have some consistency, a consistent voice, and that's something that I'm hoping I can provide over the next couple of years and beyond, hopefully. But again, I think when there is a coaching change, the uncertainty from the players, there has to be a trust factor, and again, that's something that's built over time.
And the AmFam Championship is on the move. Starting in 2025, the three-day tournament will now be played at TPC Wisconsin, formerly known as Cherokee Country Club. The AmFam Championship has been held at University Ridge since the tourney's debut back in 2016. We're back after this.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
The local water experts at Culligan can take care of everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we do that too. Culligan, here for every water worry.
Celebrate Memorial Day at Brothers Maine, where unbeatable appliance deals come with expert advice. Enjoy special prices and free delivery on top brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Spring into action and save on stressless seating at the Century House. Now get $400 off all classic power recliners, signature base recliners and ottomans, and cross base recliners and ottomans. And get $400 off most sofas and love seats. Imagine how much you can save building your dream sectional. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Okay, I think we're all aware that most cell companies only give you the lowest price when you sign up for multiple lines.
What? Multiple lines?
Hello? Yeah, one sec. But US Cellular gives you just one line for $29.99 with unlimited data.
Just one line with unlimited data.
So you don't have to get more lines than you need.
No, you hang up.
Are you even listening, guy who never looks up from his phone?
Oh, not for me, I just say it.
Okay, so no, you're not listening.
Get one line for $29.99, plus we'll give you an extra $200. US Cellular, built for us. Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
What did you get?
A 94.
That's good. AAA Auto Insurance scored a 94 on member satisfaction.
What? AAA Auto Insurance?
Uh-huh. Our teams help members find a smart plan at an even smarter price. Oh! Because when it comes to auto insurance, being smart is important. Shh! You can't shush the truth, people. You can't shush the truth.
Switch and save on AAA Auto Insurance and expect something more.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
The Skinny on Ozempic, Thursday at 6.
Finally tonight, owning a home can be really stressful, but for one first-time homeowner in Colorado, it was downright scary. That's because as soon as she moved in, she discovered a massive snake infestation in the walls of her house. It started when her dog found the first one in the garage. Since then, she's seen as many as 30, and she still lives there. The snake wrangler she hired thinks there is a den of garter snakes, which could mean hundreds of babies. Amber says she wants to rip up the concrete and find out where they are before she can escape from the snake saga that is her new home.
Just little garter snakes, and don't bite you.
Just burn it down. Just burn it down and move.
Yeah, just hundreds of babies.
Yeah, I don't do that. Will live in your nightmares tonight.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Let's go to Julian. Final check of the forecast.
Well, something that's not as frightening as snakes is this beautiful weather. So our three things we'll need to know, it's going to continue for us. 70s for tomorrow, 80s on Thursday, even 70s for Friday, but that's when we're looking for the change up. It's going to stay dry until Thursday, and then showers and storms are expected from Friday into our Mother's Day weekend. Now, we are watching for the system to be pretty consistent throughout the course of our Friday, our Saturday, and that's right, throughout our Sunday as well. We're going to be expecting some widespread rain throughout southern Wisconsin and parts of northern Illinois as well. So if you have any traveling or if you're expecting to do anything outdoors with mom, you might want to make that indoors. Some of the rain expectations are still bouncing up and down, but we are looking for a healthy amount nevertheless for us here in southern Wisconsin. A quick look at our 10-day forecast here with the First Warn team. We are looking at, again, beautiful weather from Wednesday and Thursday. 70s hanging, but it's just going to be quite a wet mess for the weekend. The next week, a bit more smoother sailing.
All right, Julian, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Producer now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.